Hello all, been a while, so busy. So let's talk about some environmental updates on a day of 58 dead here in the US from another shooting. And of course, the Orange Man says it's not time to talk about gun control or guns. You wonder, when is the time? But that's not what we're here for today. Nope, I'm here to talk about the environment and what's happening. We'll do a quick little update on the most important stuff. So, another large study has taken place and some more information about what's going to happen with Alaska here in the US. They studied it thoroughly and they wanted to know how much permafrost was going to melt in the next 100 years and how much CO2 and methane would be released. And this is what they found. They said in the next 10 years they're expecting possibly as much as 3 feet of melting in the permafrost. Right now we're down to 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches of melting. That's serious and needs to be thought about. So they figured out how much melting would equal how much sea level rise. What they found out, in 100 years you'd have 1.75 feet of sea level rise. So that's 1.75 feet or 5,334 meters of sea level rise from all of 3 feet of permafrost melting in Alaska alone. That ought to put a wide angle on something, considering none of the other melting in the world is considered in that equation there, that study. So as long as we're in the Arctic, why don't we flip completely over to the Antarctic and get some news from there. So if you go to your maps and look up the Weddell Sea, you'll find a little tiny kind of bay inlet sea there in Antarctica. Every year this completely freezes over during winter. Guess what? Not this year. This year there was a hole that stayed open as big as the Netherlands. That's only happened a few times along the coast back in 1975. They think the melting was, the reason this was melted like that is because, yes, the currents underneath the ocean are far warmer now and are coming up to the surface and melting the surface ice. It was up at Mike the other night. Okay, one more issue, and that's human-induced earthquakes. There was a large study done with geologists around the world. They wanted to know how many earthquakes are caused by humans and what's the percentage of total earthquakes around the world. We actually do have some numbers. So mining around the world causes 37% of the human-made earthquakes. Building dams and having water build up behind these dams causes 23% of the human-made earthquakes. So the study goes on about hydraulic fracking, but they haven't put a percentage on that yet. They also are looking at the pumping of liquid down into the ground at high pressure called waste fluid deposit. They're looking at those too. We've talked about those on this video series quite a few times. I give you all the lowdown. It's a mess too. Tables were filled with gaudy frails chewing on their fingernails. They were waiting for the man from Harlem. It's amazing that you would take some fluid that's highly toxic to life and pump it down into the ground at high pressure, thinking that it would never go anywhere, it would just stay there like that. But the earth is more like a sponge than it is like steel. You know, all that wastewater is going to come up into the drinking water eventually. Bad practice. And of course you would think that when you put a large amount of pressure down underground, as you do with fracking and wastewater deposits, that of course you're going to make earthquakes. That's only, what, sort of obvious? Oh well. So busy lately. That busyness hasn't gone away. So I appreciate all the comments you guys leave, all the ups and the downs, and if you guys want to try the new subscriber thing, but YouTube never lets me get past the dreaded 2s, 422. They won't let me pass that. I have been at 422 up and down, and I always end up back there because they will not allow me to get any new subscribers. So if you want to give it a try, go ahead, but you'll have to come back later on in a few days or a week or so and see if I put anything on to see if you're still subscribed. But I definitely appreciate all of it, and until next time.
Everybody's nerves were getting jumpy, you know, people thought a privilege like all at once the room was filled, men forgot all about the bill. Who should enter but the man from Harlem?